Hiya folks, Gord Pyzer here, and I'm at the Mid-Canada Boat Show in Winnipeg. It's 40 below this morning, but here's the boat show. We're the last week of February, beginning of March, and everybody's looking so forward to open water fishing. And I've got a great friend with me here, actually a very good friend. I've known Steve Green. Steve's one of the sales managers for Winnipeg Sport and Leisure in Kenora. But one of the more important things about Steve, he's a great fisherman, a great angler. This guy can catch walleyes, crappies, muskies, bass. In fact, Steve, you were one of the co-founders of the Kenora Bass International, correct?
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
And one of the most successful bass tournaments in Canada.
Yeah.
And now we've got so many options. Like we're in one of the Kingfisher 2025s. This is actually what I'm running right now, a 2025 model with the extended platform.
Right.
Now this has got a dual console. I've got a single on my boat.
Yeah.
What do you think the advantage is, dual versus single console?
The advantage to the dual console is strictly protection from the weather. Our summers aren't that long, as you know, and you and I, well, we've been out with snowmobile helmets in boats. So there's right from spring, as soon as you can get on the water, we're fishing, and at the end of the year, when there's those beautiful days and there's snow on the ground and the ice is forming in the bays, we're out. Right, so those are the days where you want to be protected.
Yep.
You give up some things, you give up a little bit of walk-around space. I know in your boat you've got exactly the same, and if you took that console out of there, which is protecting the other half of the family, but I guess your grandson doesn't mind.
No, he doesn't.
No, okay, well, you're lucky. But anyway, if you take that out of there, all of a sudden now you've got almost a runway, right?
Yes.
For you. You know, when you hook up with a big muskie, that's what you need.
And you see, that's why I really love the single console boat. I to be totally honest, personally, I would never have a dual console boat. I love fishing for muskies a lot. I love the big extended platforms, both front and back. Mm-hmm. So when we get a big fish on, if we've got a 40, 45 pounder and all of a sudden it streaks to one side, I can run anywhere on the boat right now. And I got to be honest, you know, from a bass fishing perspective as well, if folks like to fish tournaments, probably the single console might be the better way to go.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of the single consoles with the guys that really are serious about the tournament.
You know, Steve, though, one of the really cool things, especially with this Kingfisher with the 2025 here, it really is moldable. It's adaptable to so many situations. Like with that back seat, I think that back seat is so tremendous.
Yeah.
Because when you've got the family out, maybe you're tubing or you're water skiing, so all of a sudden you flip the back seat up and you've got a beautiful back seat in your regular seats, but all of a sudden you go fishing, you've got your fishing buddy, or in my case, my grandsons. Yeah. We just pop that down. We've got a full deck at the back as well as the front.
Yeah. It's funny how you said you just flip it up, because your boat is flipped down most of the time.
It is.
Yeah. In this boat, it would be flipped up most of the time,
exactly.
Right? Because they're not going out heavy-duty fishing, but they're going to go out fishing. You've got a deck here where a couple of people can come up and work the electric trolling motor. You've got the live well under your foot. There's another one in the back. So there's lots of room for the family to spread out, do their fishing. And as you said, with what we've got here is the driver's seat, the passenger seat, a couple of seats behind that, and then that bench seat. You can take 6, 7 people out on the lake. Yeah,
and the other thing, Steve, that again, from a muskie and flipping bass and that sort of thing, we're long rods now. A 7-foot rod's actually pretty short, and we're fishing 8-foot, 9-foot muskie rods. It's really important from my perspective. I like these big, huge rod lockers. That I can get a 9-foot rod in there.
It's nice for you to keep all of your rods in there, but when you think of it from a family standpoint, it's nice to get the rods out of the way so that people aren't stepping on them, but they're in the boat for when you want to go fishing, right?
Wow, I'd never
it
thought of
sucks up the tackle boxes, it sucks up the rods, and look, it's flat, it's clean, so there is no issues.
Yeah. The other thing that shocks me or surprises me, and a lot of folks don't realize, especially the keen walleye guys, are still in the tiller handles, and with the Mercs now, we're seeing 200, 250 horsepower tillers that have got power steering that lock down. And folks sometimes forget there's a tremendous market for those back trolling tiller handle boats.
The companies are coming out with more tiller models now. It almost goes through cycles.
Yes.
Right? It goes through cycles. But right now, the guys that are fishing the tournaments are starting to diversify a little bit. They're not just casting from the front deck into the weeds, into the sticks, and around the rocks and that. What they're doing now, as you know, up here in the fall, when those bass go down, you've got to sit over top of them, and a tiller gives you the control that you need. There's guys out there, you know, phenomenal fishermen. They don't care about the weather.
No.
They'll drive, they're getting snow in their face, water in their face and everything, but the fact is when they get to where they're going to go fishing, they're in hunting mode. They're sitting over top of those fish, they're staring at their fish finder, watching their jig go up and down, watching the fish react, and the tiller just is best.
Yes, and Steve, even in good, nice weather, summertime, the back trollers, the guys pulling slow death, the guys pulling spinner rigs for walleyes, a crankbait's probably the #1 presentation mode for big walleyes, pulling the larger crankbaits. Really nothing beats back trolling or even forward trolling with planer boards, those sorts of things.
Getting the speed control is the big thing.
Yeah.
Getting, matching what the fish are looking for. If they want a fast presentation, you twist the throttle a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
And with the new stuff, with the idle down, all of those things that have, the fishermen's forced the industry to go in that direction.
Steve, are there any other things you would recommend to folks? Some of the things they should always keep in the back of their minds.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
They should ask when they walk into the store. What they should ask you, or
once you own a boat, who's going to fix it?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Right? Who's going to fix it? I mean, it's nice to say, I've got this beautiful boat with a motor on the back, but if where you are fishing, there's nobody that can fix that motor, or the boat isn't suited for the conditions. Lake of the Woods is a tough lake.
It sure is.
Yeah, Lake of the Woods can kill a boat. It can kill the person driving the boat, but it can kill a boat. And so you want a tough boat. The reason why we've got more than one line of boats is this, as you know, when you're in a tournament, you're hitting wide open speeds, you're hitting rough water, and the boat's holding together. The windshield is welded on, it's rock solid. You're not worrying about things shaking loose and all that kind of stuff. So that's why this particular boat, they're aiming this with the extended platform at that market, and that's why you've got that boat too.
And the other thing that a lot of folks don't realize, I mean, the reality is northern Canada or central northern Canada really is metal boat country.
Yeah.
We're pulling in for shore lunches at noon hour. We're pulling in on small islands, whatever. You really don't, and I'm not knocking fiberglass, but this is northern Canada, most of Canada is metal boat country.
Yep.
Looking at this, and it's got the big seat, the cushion ride seat that's absolutely incredible. So if folks are fishing a Lake Simcoe or the Great Lakes or a Lake of the Woods or anywhere where there's even the possibility of rough water, those seats with that spring on them that you can dial in for weight is absolutely worth its weight in gold.
Well, you've got that for the right reasons, right? If you hit a 3 or 4 foot wave wide open, you're up in the air. When you come down, there's no hard impact on your back.
Yes.
So just as a point of interest, sold a little kingfisher to some people that have no interest in fishing at all. But she's a lady younger than me, but old. But she runs into town, picks up her girlfriends, they go shopping. It's her little boat, and she goes out, and it's going to be she's going to go out in the waves, right? So we put one of those seats, looks silly, but one of those seats in her little tin boat.
Wow.
She'll be in heaven.
Absolutely.
She will absolutely. She sat in, just like you said, wow.
So if you're in the market to buy a boat this year, talk to someone like Steve who fishes and does it all. You're going to be well on your way to matching the right boat to your conditions.
Absolutely.
Steve, thank you ever so much for doing this.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.